Hey everybody, it feels good to be back from the dead. So, I wanted to showcase a little bit of my own little my my entire amplified what I use for playing amplified and like when I'm not on stage. This is more like my practice gear stuff because if you have seen any of the live videos of me playing, I usually play through like a vocal mic and through the PA. I actually do play through the PA while cupping the mic. So I just wanted to showcase a little demo of all my microphones in my amp and just want to show y'all the cool things I can sonically create with the harmonica. And speaking of sonically, here's my Sonic the Hedgehog t-shirt. Yeah, I felt like it was, kind of appropriate for today. So this is just a little heads up on my microphones and what I'm going to be doing with the little testing. So first off, we have for my harmonica, it's going to be our test subject. This is the Suzuki Maji Sky. I've been playing this for a while, and it actually has slowly become like my second favorite harmonica to use other than the Hohner Gold Melody. I still really love the review I did for it, and just introducing people to new harmonicas really just gives me joy because like a lot of people would expect like certain harmonicas to not be really good or they have never heard of any of these harmonicas that I've played, but just like shedding some light on these new harps just like gives and people getting like interested in these harps really brings me a lot of joy. So here's what it sounds like acoustically. That's just a little sound demo for what's going to be up in store for what we're going to be showcasing for my microphones and stuff. So first off, I want to showcase my amp because I actually have like a really interesting story behind it. Okay, so like my amplifier right here is a Fender Champion 20. I actually got this back at the height of the pandemic because I originally wanted to be a blues harmonica player. And unfortunately, those dreams never got to fruition because, the gatekeeping shit. And eventually I just gave up trying to please others and just wanted to do my own thing. And so these are like my particular settings. I do have like gain at like 2, volume at 2. I used a tweed setting on this one, and then this one has a treble and bass knobs instead of like a tone knob or just a 3-way knob. I have tried a Fender Princeton 40 DSP before, and it sounded really good. And it's also really loud for like the Princeton that I tried out. And then this is also a modular amp too. So it has like built-on effects in it too. And then we go on to my pedal board, which technically isn't a pedal board, but it was only just like 2 pedals. I actually have a little daisy chain sort of power thing because a lot of like the power supplies were just too out of my range. So, and here's like where this gets interesting. The pedals is the first one I have right here is a Joyo American Sound, which I've had that. I always wanted to have like a very like just in case if I wanted to do like a more distorted sort of sound. It actually comes really in handy. And then we have a Behringer Vintage Delay VD400 right here. That was the first pedal. That right there is the first pedal that I ever got. And it actually, and I mainly use it for like more like spacey effects, like make it sound like it's coming out out of like an old making it sound like it's coming out like it has like not. I use it more so as a reverb than a delay because it has like a very warm sound to it. And then we go on to my microphones. This one was the first microphone I ever got. This is a Shure SM57. This was the very first mic I ever owned, as I mentioned before. It actually is very, very close in size to it's really like really heavy, and I originally didn't like playing SM57s that much, and I actually wanted to just like go to like a vocal mic, but I was repeatedly told I shouldn't use a vocal mic unless if I'm playing from a stand, and then it's like I want to do my own thing, you know. And then here we have like one of my most interesting mics right here. This is more common in the harmonica community, but bullet mics are especially popular. We have this is one from Blows Me Away Productions. This is known as the Bulletini. It has a volume knob, which I really love volume knobs. But this is like probably the loudest harmonica microphone, like the loudest microphone I have in my collection. And it's so loud that it actually just like squeals if you turn it up too loud. Because it's often at like I usually used to have it at max volume before it just like, you know, crashed and just kept on like feeding back. That's the bad thing about like playing bullet mics, is that they are very, very much prone to squealing. And then we have my own microphone that I regularly use. This is the Shure PGA48, which is actually the budget version of the SM58. And I like to use this a lot during gigs and stuff. This is more of like my regular use harmonica microphone, and this one has a volume on and off. This is more of an on and off switch than a volume knob. It's just, I do love it. Like I'm actually using for my standard vocal mics, I'm using a little impedance converter called the little amp right there. And I use that to make the low Z vocal mics into more of a high Z, and get it into like this high Z amp, and make it into like the high Z amplifier right here. So I'm going to be showcasing a few examples of each of the microphones, and I honestly hope you all enjoy it. So let's see, let's turn the amp on. Let's just hear what this microphone sounds like naked first. I think I forgot to. There we go. I need to like get like a. There we go. Yeah, so that's what it sounds like naked. Here's it with the delay only. As you can tell, it adds like a huge, like, very much like a, let me just turn this off a little bit. It has like a very like spacey sort of sound when it's just a delay. Yeah, so it adds like a very cool effect right there. And so then here's what it sounds like with the little distortion pedal I have. This one just like adds a lot more like volume right there. Like that, like it sounds really interesting right there. So, and then we just add them both together. Here's what it sounds like. Yeah, so it actually sounds like very cool right there. Let me just switch microphones right now. And now we're going to the SM57. I am not really a fan of how I hold this harmonica, so I have to like hold the grill like right here. This is more like I think this is omnidirectional, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's more omnidirectional. So if you hear like squealing and stuff, this is more of a interesting one. Yeah, so this one is actually quite loud for like playing blues and stuff. So here's what it sounds like with the, come on, this is the little technical flub. Here's what it sounds like with the delay. We got kind of like a little stuck in there. This is more like playing so on the bottom end just to like show what it sounds like. Here's what it sounds like with only the distortion pedal. Now the reeds really did get stuck. There we go. That sounds nice. And here's what they sound like together. That's like the issue I have with playing with this microphone is that it's hard to like keep the harmonica like straight into like the whole thing, so straight into the little part. So. So that is what the SM57 sounds like. So let me just switch microphones and we'll go to the Bulletini. Hey, we're back, and this time I'm gonna be using the Bulletini for like a little test drive. The thing with the volume knob is that it often like this is actually its lowest point, and this is what it sounds like at its loudest. And so I'm gonna like do a little adjustment thing for like the little microphone thing that I'm actually gonna be doing. I think around there sounds safe. That actually sounds quite decent. Let's see if we can crank it up a little bit. There we go. Just need to do like a little test of like the whole for the volume thing, because it is like when you turn up the amp itself, it gets extremely loud because the mic itself has like is compresses on its own. So here's what I sound like on a Bullet, if you're all wondering. See, I can just play it with ease just fine. And here is what it sounds like with the delay. See right there, it already is getting pretty loud. So this is why I kept it like this, like down the middle. So that's actually quite loud right there. So if we're taking into consideration that my amp is pretty small and this microphone is like compresses very hard, let's try a little bit of the distortion pedal and see how loud it can actually sound right there. Yeah, so actually it actually sounds really decent with the actual distortion pedal. So here's what it sounds like with both pedals. Let me just set it up. Here we go. Yeah, this one does tend to get this harmonica does tend to get stuck, but I just usually ignore it. Yeah, so that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed it, give a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to check out more videos. And I'll see you all next time.